Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Asad Yaqub here. In this video, within 10 minutes, I'm going to give you 4 wonderful tips to increase your bench score. If you are at band 5 level, this video will help you. If you act upon these 4 tips, this video will help you reach bench score 7. Okay? Alright guys. Now the first tip is all about your fluency. In IELTS speaking test, 25% marks are given for fluency. So fluency means that you speak English without pauses, without breaks. It means you are not struggling to speak English. It means you do not repeat yourself, right? You're just talking fluently without any pauses. Now, fluency does not mean that you're going to speak fast. It does not mean that you speak slowly and you're not fluent. It means you don't break the tempo of a sentence when you are speaking that very sentence. Yes, after a couple of sentences, you can have natural pauses. Even sometimes you can say, and I would like to tell you as well, and something like that, that's perfectly fine. Now, in order to improve your fluency, it is very important to be familiar with IELTS topics. If you are familiar with IELTS topics, as you know that there are 3 parts in IELTS speaking. Part 1, introduction, where we have general questions, right? And for that we have a book. This book contains 200 topics and you are highly likely to be asked questions from these 200 topics. 1 to 2 topics will come in your actual exam. So that is what we call familiarity. If you know these topics already, you can speak better. Your brain will not have to scratch, or you will not have you will not be able to, or you don't have to scratch your head for ideas if you know the topics already. Then we have IELTS speaking part 2, and in speaking part 2 there is cue card. Okay, examiner will give you a topic and this book contains 98 or 100 topics and you are highly likely to get one of these topics in actual exam. So familiarity. If today I ask you, what do you do in your free time? You will struggle to answer, you will think about it, you will gather some ideas and all that. But if I ask you the same question second time or even the third time, you will answer without thinking. So the answers without thinking, without struggling, these answers are called fluent answers, and this is how you develop your fluency, which is 25% of your IELTS speaking. Right, like out of 9 band, 25% is for fluency, and you can achieve it by making yourself familiar with the topics. Okay, next, pronunciation, which is very important. IELTS examiner does not expect you to speak British English, to speak American English. Instead of that, they only expect you to speak English clearly, whether you are using your local dialect and all that, but your pronunciation must be clear. I mean, whatever you pronounce, the words that you pronounce, they should be clear. And then there are few sounds of English which you need to learn to pronounce correctly, like C as K. So instead of saying cat, chocolate, coin, you should say cat, chocolate, coin. Alright, this is pronunciation. Then we have P sound, then we have T sound. So all these sounds are actually going to create good pronunciation for the examiner. When you speak English in front of the examiner, speak clearly. Do not speak within your mouth and the ideas are not very clear, whatever you want to say and all that. No, speak with open mouth. It doesn't mean you say, and I speak English. No. You need to speak clearly, okay? Well, let me tell you about my hometown. I belong to, and then go on and, talk very frankly, right? So, for pronunciation, IELTS listening is a great help to you, okay? You just need to listen to the audios there, especially listening part 1, there is a dialogue. Listening part 4, there is a lecture. Listening part 3, again there is a dialogue. So just focus how they pronounce the words which you already know. and learn to pronounce these words the way they pronounce them, they speak them in IELTS listening audios. So listening is going to be great help. And guys, it is very easy to improve your bench score in pronunciation, because there are few sounds which you need to imitate, and then there you are, you will get very good bench score in pronunciation. After that, the third tip is about English grammar. As far as IELTS speaking is concerned, all the questions that we have in IELTS speaking, all the cue cards that we have in IELTS speaking, questions in speaking part 1, questions in speaking part 3, all these questions are based on 5 tenses. Okay, I've noticed, I mean, this is the book we offer to our students for speaking, and all the questions that we have in this book, they are in 5 tenses only. And even in your writing module, we have questions, we have all the topics, and these 5 tenses will cover each and everything. Now let's see, the first tense is present simple. In Pakistani books or sometimes in Indian books, they call it present indefinite, past indefinite, future indefinite, or present simple, past simple, future simple. After that, we have present perfect, and then we have present perfect continuous tense. So you need to master these 5 tenses, and the first 4 tenses, for these tenses you need to learn to make passive voice as well. I speak English, present simple tense active voice. English language is spoken, present simple tense passive voice. Okay, so like this you need to learn to make active and passive and these tenses. The next important part, if your target band is 6, 7 or 8 in speaking as well as in writing, the next important thing is you need to learn to make compound sentences, conditional sentences and complex sentences. Okay, these sentences will take your bench score from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and if you are a good speaker, even you may reach 9 in speaking. Otherwise, in writing, these tenses will take your bench score from 6 to 7, 7.5 or even 8. Okay, so this is all about grammar. Then you can learn some modal verbs which are very simple modal verbs like can, could, should, may, might, have to, ought to and all that, and you can focus their passive voice as well. This is going to give you a good variety of sentence structure in your speaking test as well as in your writing test. And finally, we are going to talk about vocabulary. That is the 4th tip, how to improve your vocabulary. It is very simple. Remember, in IELTS speaking test, examiner does not see high-fi vocabulary in your language. Examiner only sees the contextual use of the words which you are already actually using, and then they see there should be a variety of words, because if there is a good variety of words in your speaking, right, and if you replace the question words with other words or you paraphrase them, you reword them. If examiner says, what do you do in your free time? You can say, watching movies is my time pass, or whenever I have some spare time, I love to watch movies. Spare time, free time, leisure activity and all that. So such type of words will improve your bench score. IELTS reading will improve your vocabulary for IELTS speaking and even for IELTS writing. And for essay writing, if you want to use good vocabulary, for that I would advise you to read as many essays as possible. For example, we've got this book. This book contains some essays which have been written by examiners. Okay, so these essays are of bench score 8, 9. If you read those essays, you get to know the level of English which you need for bench score 7, 8 or 9. And then when you try to reproduce such essays after reading them, you can get very good bench score. So for grammar, as I mentioned, 5 tenses, modal verbs, so a compound sentence, complex sentence, conditional sentence, passive voice, active voice, right? In academic writing task 1, we use passive voice as well, especially in diagram, especially in process diagram. Yes, we use that. And in essay writing, if you use passive structures are actually, they are considered advanced structures of English language, so you can get better bench score. So if you follow all 4 things, if you're going to act upon these 4 tips, most definitely you will be able to get good bench score, not only in speaking but also in writing module. All the best. We also offer IELTS test booking service all over Pakistan. There is a link in description of this video. There you will find the, you can click on the link and you can book your test. In case you have any difficulty, you can contact our test booking manager. He will guide you further. We offer guidance to students who want to study abroad. We have a team of experts and they are going to give you guidance. If you're planning to study abroad, you can get yourselves evaluated for that. So it's going to help you in future. All the best, guys. Thank you so much. I also teach IELTS online all over the world and in campus in Lahore, Pakistan. If you want to join my classes, you can contact me on WhatsApp. Asad Yaqub wholeheartedly wishes you best of luck. Take care. Allah Hafiz.